5:30.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thanks, Randy. Roll call.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes, sure.
Greg Scott,
Here.
Charles Wiltie,
Here.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
and David.
Here, any additions or corrections to the agenda, commissioners?
Just want to make sure that Randy Booth can speak to us.
Where would you like Randy at? Appointments, see?
Probably right away because he'd probably like to get the heck out of here.
We'll put you at A. Is it gonna be very lengthy?
No.
Okay. Public comment. Any public comment in the room? You have one?
I do,
Is it related to the agenda?
it is.
Okay.
On the audit firms, I just, Schultz, Oswald and Miller, we've worked with them since they, on the Big Creek County Utility Authority, they've done our audit. Robertson Carpenter did it previously and they've done it ever since. They've been great to work with, and I know our staff at the, in the office love working with them. They answer questions whenever they call. They've had a good rapport with them.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other public comment in the room? Any public comment on the phone? Appointments, 4A, Randy, come on up.
I had provided Tim with a copy of the 4029 for the winter. We had some rollbacks on the fractions a little bit on the millages. And he had made the adjustments to the budget. So on your revenue lines, there's a little bit of a reduction. And I didn't know if you guys had had any discussions in our budget meetings. We hadn't talked about reducing any millages this year other than what we had to. But I just figured come before you if you wanted to make any adjustments before the next meeting, before we have to do the resolution to adopt the millages for the winter. Make sure. If you guys have any questions.
Kim, did you want anything to add to that?
No, but just would point to that running sheet of all the little changes that we did in the budget. All of those rollbacks Randy just mentioned are in there, so you can see the exact amounts. They're not much, but you know, we like to be as accurate as we can. I think I'd already sent out a draft budget resolution, I think 2 meetings ago, but all those adjustments were reported in there too. So when you do have that resolution in front of you, they'll all be accurate.
Comments about changing millages, rates?
None.
Commissioner Serbrook,
None.
Commissioner Mayhew,
If we do that, we have to do it by this certain time,
next meeting, next
Right.
Thursday.
right? I mean, we've brought it up in the past. I didn't know if we could do it whenever, but we have certain times of the year to do it.
One time a year.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to do the budget resolution, and so it has to be included in that.
Okay.
It's twice a year, isn't it?
Well, the summer millage is a general operating, you can always make decision on that, but the actual budget resolution is the one that,
Okay,
where you adopt it for the year.
all right. No, other than that, I don't know.
Specific, Commissioner Wiltie, go ahead. Specific millages, can you just tell them briefly?
As to,
What millages you're talking about?
the Sheriff Road Patrol millage, the Veterans millage, I think the transit millage fell off this year, there's not a transit millage. EMS and 911, even though they're separate authorities, need county permission, and so you authorize the millages that they can levy. And there's the 0.04 mils, which is for the Sailor Soldier Relief Fund that you do every year, and MSU extension.
And animal control.
Animal control.
No comment, questions?
No, I don't see any cuts this year.
Pardon me?
I don't see any cuts this year.
No, because I think the only one we really addressed last year was the road patrol, and we had said that if 24-hour road patrol was not being executed, that we were talking about obviously not collecting the total amount because residents were not getting what they were paying for. So Tim did recently give us analysis of times. There was some follow-up with that, but I guess you and I haven't touched base on that, so.
And we're gonna bring it back next committee of the whole. We didn't want to put it on tonight with our full agenda.
Okay,
But yeah, I've got the data.
okay. So, thanks, Randy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
4, I guess this would be 4B now. We have auditor interviews. Times are appropriate. We got 4 on our agenda, so we're asking if at all possible to try to keep it 15 minutes or so. Otherwise, our meeting's gonna get pretty lengthy. So first we have Schultz, Oswald, Miller, and Edwards. Coming up, guys.
Are we asking who's to stay or?
You're in an open meeting, so it's.
Up to them.
They're
Can
discretion.
I ask them
Can I ask them what?
to leave the room?
You really can't.
No, we can't.
No,
Okay,
an open meeting, so.
all right, fine. I won't.
Yeah, and this was made clear in the RFP that when this meeting,
Okay.
it's a public meeting.
That's fine.
I guess you lost me somewhere. Like
Well,
to ask questions to,
yeah.
what were you thinking?
What's the term you used to
Confidential?
sequester? Sequester, yeah. Yeah,
Yes, I don't know.
yeah, that's fine.
You don't get to do that.
You guys have the floor.
Okay, I'm not really sure what format you wanted us to use, so I just prepared a few comments of our processes and how it would go and so forth, and then left some time for you to ask us questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm Christy Scholze, and I'm the managing partner of Scholze, Oswald, Miller, and Edwards. Thank you for inviting us to meet with you today. We are grateful for the opportunity to showcase our processes. I mainly work from our Alpena office, but this is Claudia Miller, and she is the manager of our Brook City location. Claudia performs 14, we just asked her today before we got here, 14 other audits of municipalities within the county. So she's quite familiar with the treasurer and so forth. In addition, she lives in the county and works in the county. So she's got a strong presence here. While all of us will be dedicated to the work on your audit, all of us in the firm, Claudia will be your main contact throughout the rest of the year as things arise, just simply because of geography. One item, I don't know if it'll be important to you or not, but I wanted to note that we are an entirely woman-owned and operated firm. It didn't start out to be that way intentionally, but once you get a bunch of women, draw other women. I give you a little basic overview of our proposed timeframe and how our procedures go and so forth, so you can get an idea of what to expect should you choose to work with us. We prefer to begin the audit as soon as possible after year end. Timely reports add value to you, and also it allows us to complete the process prior to working with our December 31st year end clients. So we like to keep things buttoned up quite nicely along. We generally like to do a lot of preliminary work prior to arriving for field work, and this allows us to hit the ground running, so to speak, when we get here. The preliminary work entails, and I'm not sure how much of this you really want to hear. I've got a list of things we would do ahead of time. It might bore you to stitches, but basically we would do everything we can possibly do offsite before we get here as to not disrupt all the staff members and so forth here. And it allows us to just get a better idea of where we want to focus when we do arrive. We can do that by simply just placing inquiries or interviews or questionnaires, so forth with management, and also acquiring a trial balance ahead of time so we can do a lot of computations. So given there's a 60-day window to accrue receivables and payables for the county, our initial plan would be to be on site around the 3rd week of November, approximately. And we intend to bring 6 auditors with us. It would be all 4 of the partners with 2 staff accountants. And then that allows enough people left behind in our offices to keep things running there without a bunch of interruptions to us all the time. Let's see, we believe that between the end of November and December, we can complete the field work. This is actually our slowest time of year. The year end of September was perfect for us. So we do have some time to dedicate solely to this project. We will then plan to draft the report in January, and our intention would be to have it provided to you, to management and the commissioners in February. In January, we would do all the drafting and have it run through our internal quality control processes and so forth, and then give a draft for your review before the final presentation. Let's see, this is something I wanted to note as well. While we are a smaller firm than some of the others you'll be hearing from today, we do have experience with other counties and road commissions, as you may have saw. I'm not going to pretend that we do as many of them as the other larger firms. I'm not going to even try to go there. But rest assured, our commitment to our clients is just as strong. So,
What other counties do you do?
we do Presque Isle County, we do Montmorency County, we do Oscoda County Road Commission, Sheboygan Road Commission, Alpena Road Commission. Am I missing any?
I think you caught all the commissions.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I know you do Mills Township. I don't know.
Yep, Mills Township.
You guys have been over there for quite a long
We
time.
have well over 100 municipalities that we work for, some tiny, some bigger, some school districts and so on.
Questions, Commissioner Scott?
You say it can be done by February?
That is our intent. I mean, barring unforeseen circumstances.
Okay.
Yeah, that would just be our goal that we, that's our plan.
I mean, that, you're able to do that in other counties.
Yes, yes. We are preparing to go to Presque County in a couple of weeks and going in September. We usually always present to them, their meeting in the middle of November. And for Montmorency County, we don't go there until April and their December year end. So we don't go there until April because of tax season and so forth. And then we always present to them at their June meeting.
When would you start ours?
We would like to be on site ideally the third week of November. And then we would have November and December to do all of the field work. The end of November, I should say, in December. But if we do a lot of it on a preliminary basis before that third week of November, that's our intention.
And you'd be in contact with us throughout the year?
Claudia would be like, as I think your request for proposals indicated that you wanted to make sure that we had availability as things came up, questions, concerns, comments, and so forth, if somebody would be available and dedicated to the county for those matters. And that is where potentially it would be Claudia, simply just because she's closer to you. Whereas if she needed to pull the others of us in, that wouldn't be a problem.
Commissioner Wiltie?
You stated, when you are here in the building, it'll be the 4 partners and 2 staff members.
Yes, that's how we currently would have it scheduled if you were to select us.
Just one more thing, then. I know you had, mentioned a little on this. What steps would you take to reduce the risk of errors in the audit process?
Basically, each of us have a different area of the audit that we specialize in. And then we have an individual, Julia Oswald, who is our quality control officer. And she works along during the process with us, but then at the end, it runs through her neutral set of eyes to ensure that none of us had blinders on and so forth when we were working. So that is typically what we do. If there is something that's outside of our area of expertise, we do have a firm that we consult with, basically just because occasionally you run into something really weird. Then we have an outside firm that we will consult with as needed.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hill?
The size of this doesn't bug you guys at all.
It doesn't, simply because if you're comparing a smaller county revenue-wise, like Montmorency, to your county, while there's added complications, it's relative, like say the general fund, it's still a general fund, numbers are just bigger. So you're tying out, a lot of the revenue sources are the same, the millages are the same, there's just more of them. So while we would dedicate more time to it, it doesn't necessarily seem scary, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm using the correct
No,
word.
like us, I mean, most of them all know. Last year, we didn't rate very good.
Okay.
We're doing better now,
Mhm.
but yeah, we were told we had not good practice
Okay. And
more than once. And
believe
we're
you-
trying to get out of that.
you did an internal control review
Mhm.
a year or two back. So, okay, I mean, you're
2 of them.
taking the correct steps then that I would
I
have
mean,
suggested anyway.
yeah, it didn't. Ain't like you're getting a bucket of cherries here.
We've read your previous audits, yeah. But thank you for your honesty.
Commissioner Serbrook?
Do you have any ideas about how long your staff would be physically on site here in the county building? Just a ballpark. I know until you start really getting into it, you can't say, but in your mind, are you saying, 3 days, 2 weeks?
I mean, my mind would tell me that probably not all 6 of us would be here every single day
Right.
because of other needs.
Sure.
Yeah, so I could look at my proposal and see how many hours we dedicated to it. But some things could also be done very easily remotely too. So, if we had 4 people here and 2 of them working remotely, we could kind of flip in and out
Sure.
enough to kind of keep it intact. What would you?
Our allocation, but
Okay.
I would say
Here to somebody for.
up to 2 weeks perhaps. Maybe not consecutively.
Anything else, Commissioner Serbrook?
No, I'm sure you would defer to Karen.
I will
and-
in just a second. Tim, do you have any questions?
Not directly. I did mean to point out that these questions here are, samples for you to consider, and a couple of them have already been asked, but, just kind of get some of the thought processes going. I did write in the RFP that we would like for the audit to be submitted to GFOA for their annual audit awards. We've never had one here
Mhm.
before. have you had experience doing that?
I have not myself submitted one. However, the firm I used to work at did it quite regularly for the city of Alpena.
Okay.
You guys will work pretty closely with,
Who I should ask.
No,
I was just
I have not.
answering for
No,
myself.
no.
Okay.
you're okay, you guys are gonna work pretty closely with the treasurer's office and the clerk's office. Do you guys have questions for Karen?
Well, I helped develop your interview questions for today, so you've been doing a good job of asking these questions. My main concerns were already addressed in what you stated.
Okay,
Perfect deal.
Clerk?
Yeah, I do. So how much hands-on involvement would you want from my office with accounts payable? And can you get that from the computer
I'm gonna
or?
have Claudia answer because that's her audit area.
So are all your invoices scanned in, everything is all remote, automated. So very little, I mean,
Okay,
we'd want you available obviously for questions,
right,
et cetera.
right.
But we wouldn't be,
How disruptive is it gonna be?
we try to be as disruptive,
Least
at least.
disruptive. Okay.
Yes, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
So, and it, yeah, and you would probably give us the password. We would have our own login where you can log in and see those
Okay.
items, and typically that's what we run
Okay.
into. Yeah.
Perfect.
There's been some issues in the past. What steps are you gonna take to reduce the risk of error? And what happens when you do find error?
I think it was kind of similar to what he had asked. Our part or error on ours, just.
Errors on ours.
Oh, okay.
We'll start with ours and then yours.
I believe that in any case, when you're gonna have this much, there's gonna be some errors. It's a
Mhm.
matter of doing reconciliations, tying out, seeing how the error happened, and then talking to whoever's in charge of that area to see how we can prevent it from happening in the future. Errors are simply corrected by a journal entry. I mean, it doesn't scare me that, I mean, I know there's gonna be journal entries, that's fine. It's just a matter of figuring out if it was just a accidental human error, or if somebody thought this is how I should be doing it, then it's a little more difficult, or I shouldn't say more difficult, but needs to be addressed a little differently.
I think that's where our internal controls came
Yeah.
into play.
Yeah.
So, any other questions for these guys? Commissioner
Where
Scott?
was it that you used to work?
I used to work at, well, it was called Nethercutt, Sternat, Straley and Ilsley at the time, because it was a while ago, but now it's
Called what?
Nethercutt, Sternat, Straley and Ilsley. Now it's Straley, Lamp and Krenzline.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Where was that?
Alpena.
Alpena.
For
But
the city of Alpena?
yes, yeah, it was just had different partners when I worked there because it was,
Okay.
a hot minute ago.
Sure.
So,
Were men allowed to be in that one?
oh, yeah, because I was the only girl.
Oh, okay.
Well, men are allowed.
Just
to be-
wondering.
they just-
Just heard about the Burning Man thing over the weekend, I'm kind of wondering.
Men are more than welcome to work at our firm, but they just haven't wanted to. So-
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
You said something about looking at our previous audits and had kind of a smile on your face when you said it.
Well, just that I was aware that it hadn't always been smooth sailing, and Claudia, being from the area, had kind of talked to us proposal together. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a smirk of any kind. It was just like, oh,
Okay.
yeah, we're aware, so.
Okay, all right.
so.
And did you used to work for Rod?
I did, yep,
Okay,
for 18 years, yeah.
okay.
She was the best part of the purchase.
Oh, well, let Rod know that.
Yeah,
Commissioner Wiltz, anything else? I'm gonna let us all go around one more time and then
sure.
I'm good. Commissioner Mayhew, anything else? Any other
Nope.
questions? Commissioner Serbrook?
Thank you.
Tim, any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You will hear back from us.
Yeah, I had a quick question, if you don't mind. I was just curious what factors that you all had in determining which firm, like which the most important factor you have in determining which firm to hire.
Which firm to what?
To hire.
It's gonna depend on it's gonna obviously be a board decision, but we're gonna take the treasurer's input, Tim's input and the clerk's input, I do believe.
I think the time,
Questions, go ahead.
I mean, I think this right here is gonna be a help decision to
Sure.
me, it appears to me not all four companies are gonna be here tonight. Unless there's a couple on Zoom.
And there will be one on Zoom. You have two more to hear from, and because they're so far out in the future, you might have more people drop by still.
And there's times, they have times to show up, so we're not
Oh.
quite there yet.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see.
I did provide you with a scoring matrix on the back of those questions that might be helpful, in response to the question that was just asked, but.
Yeah.
Right.
We've got that, your guys'
Yeah.
3-year contract, 2025, 2026, 2027.
I would say, you know, my answer to that would be transparency and communication.
Sure.
If you're communicating with us, and if there's something that just really needs, that stands out, I expect you to hear good or bad.
Mhm.
Mostly if it's bad, because, some of the stuff that happened in the past, it may have been legal. I don't know about ethical, but legal.
Sure.
I was surprised because I've been here 9 years and I would talk to the auditors every year and ask about red flags and everything else. And when the stuff hit the fan, there was a lot of red flags that they never told me about.
Well, I think we also during that time went through different department heads, some
We did.
election and changes and people doing things differently and best practice. And so there was a couple bumpy roads.
Well, a lot of that,
Couple
lot of
bumpy
that
years.
brought those things to attention.
Absolutely. So we've made leaps and bounds.
So transparency, communication.
I like that answer.
And local helps, I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
I mean, that's a big deal. So
We'll
Thank you.
vacate these seats for someone else. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
550, we have Maynard and Casteris. I'm gonna say that wrong. Casterison, is that right? Is that correct? Come on up.
We usually just say Maynard.
Maynard. You guys are internal controls, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Year and a half, 2 years ago,
That's all.
like that. Bethany, if I'm not mistaken, did most of that.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks for coming, guys.
thank you for having us.
Team all the way from where?
Lansing,
Wow.
we, travel the state. I enjoy doing governmental audits.
You enjoy it.
I do, I enjoy it. May sound bad, but I fell into my job and yeah, 20 years later, I still enjoy it, so.
Without it.
My name's Jordan Smith. I'm a principal with Maynard Casterison. This next to me is Rod Taylor. He leads our governmental consulting team. So I brought him with because he can answer some questions just in general and other things that I can't about other services we provide and things. I'm very into that audit area that I mentioned. So everyone should have a little presentation. I'll interrupt. I'm gonna go through it kind of quick because I know it's 15 minutes or whatever.
It is.
So I'll go through it pretty quick, but interrupts if you got questions, I'll answer anything I can. Maynard's been around since the early 1900s, so we're over 100 years old. Our oldest principal has about 35, 36 years of governmental experience, still working and stuff. We're part of a number of industries, governmental, MGFOA, GFOA, MCGAA, if you want to know what it all stands for, I can. But also probably the biggest one is the GAQC, Government Audit Quality Center. So it's a volunteer program that we're a member of that really promotes the quality of a governmental audit. So it's not just getting the audit done, but the quality of those audits and the value to the boards. Next one, Maynard team. It says there, proud to serve people that serve the public, and absolutely, it's one of the things we like to do. We like to help. You can do an audit, but we want to help and provide added value more than just the audit to you. We have 3 principals who do nothing but, I'm one of those 3 who do nothing but governmental audit work. So, and another 20 plus auditors who only do governmental entities year round. So we're very, very focused and diligent in those governmental entities and the GASBs and stuff there. We also have Rod's part of the group, but accounting and then also a consulting group that has 12 plus governmental experts, and we've just hired a few more. So people who do governmental that out and beyond the audit. One of the things the proposal had mentioned was auditor rotation. If you've done the audit for 5 years or 3 years, something like that, you want to rotate teams. So having the 3 principals and the significant auditors, that's not an issue for us. We're able to rotate that team very easily. We try to be consistent, do work diligently in the same way, but we're also able to rotate and bounce ideas off each other because we all have that expertise. Michigan governmental clients, doesn't show governments there, but I actually went and looked. We provide services for 20 counties. in the state of Michigan. We audit 10 and then we provide 10 accounting and consulting services. And then transits. I know a transit's a part of the county's report as well. So we provide services to 20 different transits. We audit 17 and we provide 3 of them with accounting consulting. And transits are very, very unique entity in themselves and what MDOT requires. So scope of services, just kind of header page. I'm gonna talk the next two. So our understanding for the scope, the county is looking for a financial audit of the county and then the transits rolled into that. I understand that. Audit them in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles as applicable to governmental entities and government auditing standards, also known as Yellow Book. If you hear that, it's because it's a big book with a yellow cover. Uniform guidance, that'd be a single audit, federal compliance audit if it's applicable. Provide comments and findings, recommendations, if there are any that we note as part of the audit. And then also a preparation with the Form F-65, which is state reporting based on the audit and stuff like that. So as you were aware, as an auditor, the auditor's job is not to detect fraud. It's not to give an opinion on internal controls. As we know stuff, we will comment and we'll provide that to you, but that's not the point of the audit. The audit is to give an opinion on material accuracy of the financial statements. Can the information inside the financial statements be reliable? Can it be relied on? So the next is just key components of an audit process, talking about that, planning the audit, scheduling the audit, what's best for the county, what's best for us, field work wrap up, progress meetings, making sure we're in constant communication with each other, using technology and different things to optimize the audit process, and then making sure we hit deadlines like quality control, and then stakeholder expectations, stakeholders, the board, the residents, that are the stakeholders and what they expect. I mean, we got to hit all the requirements of auditing and governmental auditing in particular. But you know, we want to do that, work together to do that. Rod, you mind talking a little bit here?
Sure, yeah, I'm gonna kind of just talk kind of the rest of the presentation, kind of just more in general here. But first of all, thank you for your time and your opportunity to consider us. We really appreciate that. We know how challenging this is and how important this decision for you guys are. And before I talk about some specifics, I do want to say one thing, first of all, which is just a recognition. So previously, before me coming to Manica Stairs, and I used to work in the state of Michigan, I started working with the county when I was at state because you've identified earlier, you've had some challenges. And so it's been clear that over the years that you guys have recognized that and if you've worked to slowly move forward and make slow, consistent improvement. And that's what we can do, right? When we know better, we do better. And so I think you guys have been doing a good job. You still have some challenges with your fund balances, which we see that in some of our charts here, but you are recognizing those challenges and putting things into place. And I think that ties to what the audit and the value of the audit, because one of the challenges when we think about audit is, why do we do it? Well, because the state says we have to, right? It's just another, your question, which is what's the impact, right? Because the audit's one thing you do once a year, it's a large impact on your organization. And why do we do it? What's the value in the audit? Well, you know, ultimately as Jordan said earlier, you know, these are your financial statements. We're just giving an opinion on those financial statements. And the audit is yours. It's not ours, even though we were doing it. It's not ours. It is your document. And it's a tool for you guys because ultimately you have that fiduciary responsibility as commissioners to use other people's money to provide effective services to your community. And your audit's a tool for you to understand your financial position, how you're delivering services, what some of the challenges are that you have, and then allows you to put a path to make positive change and ultimately transformational change for your community. So I think it's important to kind of step back and recognize this is something required by the state. It is important and is invaluable to you guys overall as an organization to move forward. So again, while we give an opinion on those financial statements, ultimately it's something that's going to help you guys do your job better. And in that vein, one of the things I think is important is, what makes us different? Because the fact is everybody that you interview tonight can do this job. I mean, as Jordan pointed out, there's standards. We all follow the standards. We all do the same type of work. But ultimately it comes to the question, which is what makes us different? And I think there's several things. One is that we care. People like Jordan and myself have focused on government. This is all we live, breathe, You know, I spent 28 years at the local level, doing this type of work and continue to move this forward. Jordan mentioned his career path as well. And we are trying to not only do the job that we get paid for, but ultimately make transformational changes across the state. We want to see our communities that we work be vibrant. And so we believe the work that we're doing help them be vibrant. And in that vein, our work is not about the audit. Our work is about being available throughout the year. Because you don't want an auditor that you wait to the audit, and it was kind of talked about before, that we show up and then we find and identify all these problems and challenges. We want a relationship where you're calling us throughout the year and identifying those things early on so that they don't become issues later on. So we want to be a resource for you guys ultimately. I mentioned this earlier, you know, we want to make sure that we're giving you guys the information that you guys can have to be to understand your financial statements. So all of the charts in here with numbers and graphs, the point there is that we want to help you understand your information on your data so that you can make those informed decisions for your community. And the last thing is that is expertise. You know, Jordan mentioned, you know, we work with about 25% of the counties in the state. We work with about 25% of the transit in the states. And what that means is that we're bringing an in-depth level of expertise, not only in the audit realm, but whether it's the internal control process review that we did for you guys. I did a training for you guys about 2 years ago on budgeting. It's showing that we have a whole value that we can bring. Now, obviously, we always have to be careful because we have to ensure that what's the word I'm looking for?
Meet standards, independence.
Independence, thank you, sorry. That we're independent, so we have to be careful with our independence on that type of thing. But again, we want to recognize that we have that expertise that we can help you guys. So with that, I'll turn it back to you unless you have anything else.
Questions?
Questions, Commissioner Wiltie?
I'll ask the same question because it is an important one. Last group, what steps would you take to reduce the risk of error in your audits?
So I'm gonna give someone an auditing thing, but GAAP actually says the risk of revenue, material misstatement of revenue is a standard thing across the board. So you have to test and look at revenues to some extent. So we look at your internal controls. We look at the internal controls from the time the receipt comes in to the time it gets deposited to the bank and the bank gets reconciled. Who reviews all that? Who makes sure that is going to the right spot, the right record in the right fund? Same with payables, same with payroll. Those are not revenue recognition, but same thing there, making sure. So it's part of the process there, doing internal control testing and stuff to make sure everything is being done the way we're being told and according to best practice. And so some of the recommendations might be, you know, this works, it's there, but it's not best practice for whatever reason. Have you thought about doing this or doing that? That might either save time or just help mitigate potential issues.
Timeline wise, then, when do you guys think you would be? Obviously, probably doing some work at a time, getting information and actual boots on the ground in the building. Do you guys have?
So the boots on the ground type thing, we said we'd plan on doing field work mostly December, January was what we were thinking. But really, what does the county want? You know, I've got clients now that want 100% remote. I've got clients that want us 100% on site, and I've got clients who want us hybrid, 50-50. We use a portal. We ask you to upload what you can, but I don't know if your invoices are already uploaded into your system, easy access, but if they're not, it's a pain to unstaple them, scan them in, email them, or put them on the portal. So like a lot of it, just if you give us reports, we can ask you to pull stuff ahead of time. Or if you tell us where it is, we can pull stuff right out of the cabinet. I don't like doing that because then we get blamed for not putting it back correctly, and we try really hard to do that, but unfortunately, I'm not perfect that way. But the timeline, that's what we'd put in our proposal, December, January, but we can work with the county as wherever the needs are.
I'd also say too, part of it is the question back to the county is when you're prepared, because there's work that you guys have to do after the fiscal year end to be ready and prepared for the auditors to come in. And so that really becomes a significant driver in terms of how quickly you can get through that stuff. So, you know, we usually provide a document with normal requested information you need, give it to you guys, and the quicker you can get through that. But I mean, when would we reach out to do scheduling
with,
As soon as, you know, it's a September year end, right? So as soon, if we were hired and stuff, we would start trying to schedule out then. What's best for the county, what fits in our schedule, all of that combined, to see what works.
Mr. Scott.
I recognize your name right away.
Hopefully that's not a bad thing, because I said I worked for the state. That can be a
Okay.
bad thing, right?
Okay, it's okay. Even though state employees can be forgiven once in a while. When I came here 9 years ago, I asked right away, what's our numbers today? Today, I came from Waste Management. I was still working there. When they called me up from headquarters, they want to know my stock count. They want to know my P&L today. And if I don't have it right now, I better have it by the end of the day. I came here and I said the same thing. What's happening today? Where are we at? Can't give you that. Well, what about the end of last month? Can you give me what's happened up until end of last month? No, I can't give you that either. March. First week of April, we'll tell you how the year went. That was the answer I got. The audit was the huge thing. It was like Christmas. I mean, we had what really wasn't Christmas because we didn't get presents, but we waited until the end of the audit to find out how bad we were in. And we were bad. You know, how much money did we use out of tax revolving fund? How much did we take from Peter to pay Paul and everything else? The big changes that's happened in the last 4 years, and I'm happy to say that the waiting for the audit is not a big thing for me anymore, because all you guys do is just check everybody's numbers, and I am very confident that everybody's numbers are up to snuff now. In most departments, I mean, a few haven't caught on to that idea yet, but the main ones here have caught on to what budgeting is, what P&L is, what everything in business. A lot of what, when you guys came in and did those studies on the way we were doing things, really helped. You know what, we were taking money 17 different ways and handling it 17 different ways. Just was amazed where cash money was laying, you know, and the idea, and then people's attitudes on, yeah, well, it's my desk. I mean, nobody's gonna take it out of my desk. But I mean, so the audit nowadays is, but I like to have it done. I like to have it done as early as possible. I like what you guys did with controls. I mean, we desperately needed controls. We didn't have them. They were totally absent. But I like the idea that scheduling starts August, September, and then when October 1 comes, we enact the schedule and everybody's on the same page. We do that now with negotiations. We do it with our own budget. You know, we have pre-budget talks. We take the steps all along the way. You know, I was here, how many times did we vote on the last day and the last minute to approve a budget? And then one year we flipped the table all around and went with a continuing budget, and that surprised everybody. I mean, I think somebody recording the minutes had to stop and say, do that again, because I didn't think that was gonna happen. And so a lot of things have changed and for the good, but we still need an audit. We still need, and you heard me tell the ladies, transparency and communication. And as far as people, boots on the ground, I'm a little bit older. I go to the checkout. I do not use a self-checkout because I want to stand there and talk to somebody. When I want information, I go to the information desk and talk to a person. I don't go to the kiosk and punch it in. I still write checks even. I know I hold the line up when I'm writing a check. But that's what I like. I like the people to hear and I'm talking to them. You heard me tell them that every year that I went and saw the auditors and talked to them, what red flags are we looking at? You know, I'm not saying I'm not college educated and I learned the business at Waste Management. I learned it from everybody down the line, but I knew that you had to have your numbers. And the numbers made it do it. Because, I mean, I had to deal with all you bean counters, you know. Yeah, so, and do you like your job still? Do you have a window in your office?
Do you have a question?
You got a window in your office?
Honestly, no, I do not.
Yeah, you're in a cone. No wonder you like it so much.
Yeah,
That's it.
okay. Can you give
Okay.
an example of a significant finding you possibly found in the past and how you guys dealt with it?
Significant finding, trying to think. So one of the more significant findings would be material journal entries that we find. So receivables aren't booked correctly, payables aren't booked correctly, something along those lines. One of those, how we deal with it, we try to work with management. One of the questions I often get from clients is what do I expect as an auditor? And from my standpoint, we're here to do an audit. We have that job to do. But it's not just the audit. We also want to help. We want to train. So if you ask me what I expect to get better every year. That's what I want you to learn from the prior audit. So every year you're improving, you know, getting better. And that would be my expectations. I don't know if that answers the question exactly.
Well, they can too. I mean, findings aren't bad, right? Findings are an opportunity to identify opportunities for improvement. And so if it's a lots of findings, okay, that's a challenge. But we just, as I said earlier, when you know better, you do better. And so sometimes there are issues that aren't findings, but we would advise or give information to that, hey, just be aware, this may be something you want to work on. And other times it may actually arise to be a finding and that type of thing. And so we want to encourage you to work us throughout the year so that when you get to the audit, we don't have findings. But again, they happen, they occur. You obviously want to keep a minimum. But again, a lot of times people view findings as a negative or a bad thing. I spent my time at the other end of your side of the table as well. I appreciated somebody else coming in because I want to know about that stuff, especially as elected official, so I can make the best decision about how to improve my operation.
Thank you, Commissioner Mayhew. Commissioner Serbrook.
I'm gonna ask you the same thing I asked them. Do you have an idea as to how long your team will actually be physically on the ground here in this building?
And I apologize, I kind of tried to answer that before. That's all up to you. We normally, a county your guys' size, it's a week to 2 weeks.
Okay. And how many staff?
Usually 3 to 4. But it all depends on what you want. Because again, more and more people, I'm actually more of a paper and hands-on in-person type of person as well. But not unfortunately, I actually enjoy working with them. But a lot of the younger generation want more electronic, you know, stuff like that. So whatever works for you guys, we really, really try to be customer service oriented. And that would be, if you guys want to upload stuff, we can do that. If you want us on site the whole time, we can do that too.
And there is a balance, because, you know, your question earlier about burden, right? And this is a burden on existing staff. So you want to balance with, you know, I'm with you. I want to be on site. I want relationships. I want to be there constantly, but we also have to recognize you still have other work to get done.
Right.
So it's figuring out that balance between the two, that we're still doing a good job, but we're also making sure that you guys can get your other work done.
There's no ways around it.
Yeah.
It's going to be disruption.
Sure.
To the normal day.
Sure.
I would just prefer not to have to upload everything.
I understand.
No problem coming in the office or logging it, however. I just really don't want to have to upload everything. That's really disruptive.
Tim, do you have anything?
I need to put you on the spot with one question. Your proposal included a statement that the county would be billed $200 per journal entry. Is that something you'd be willing to wait?
I'm going to say it all depends on how it ends up. Here's the deal. You're hiring us to be your auditor, not your accountant. We're more than happy to help with that accounting to an extent that does not hurt the independence. So we can propose journal entries, stuff like that. The reason for that is it puts the onus on the county to have things ready for the audit. That doesn't mean, like we're going to bill better or anything. But it puts the onus, because if the county is going to have information ready for the board and stuff, it should also be ready for the audit. And so that's really what it boils down to. So I don't want to say I'm willing to waive it. We do often put like a cap. So I'm using this example, not a cap, but like if there's 10 journal entries or less, we won't bill you for it. You know, because a lot of those journal entries might just be reclassifications for one reason or another, and we're not going to bill you for those either, the reclassification type things. It's when there is an error, especially in a material error. I had a client not too long ago forgot to record their opioid settlement. So we had to help them with that. Well, that's time. That's not part of the audit. That is actually accounting work above and beyond that. So I don't want to tell you, yes, we'd just waive it. We would definitely work with you though, to be fair to the county.
The language says to a significant audit entries too. And so I think that's what we're saying, is that we can work with what you feel that definition of significant is, so that you're comfortable, so that we don't want to nickel and dime you. We don't. But at the same time,
At $200 a whack, that's not nickel and dime. All right.
but at the same time, as ultimately this is, we're only giving an opinion on their financial statements. It's your responsibility. So this ultimately is a partnership between both of us to accomplish that.
Great. That was one of my other questions about what was a significant finding and okay,
Yeah.
good.
Did you have anything further?
No, thanks.
Karen?
I don't necessarily have so much a question as I do have statements. One, I would want boots on the ground for a period of time. And I also would like to see some things that are easily remoted
Mhm.
and uploaded. So I'm looking for hybrid,
Yep.
but definitely boots on the ground.
Yep.
I think if you noteworthy, you did not mention during your presentation, but I have read articles from team members of your firm in the Township Magazine, providing tips and financial guidance, which I think is important for you to mention, that our board can actually open MTA and see your team members, staff members doing news articles about financial tips and guidance for our townships in the MTA Magazine.
Yeah, I will say that when I mentioned that we're passionate about government, that's exactly why we do this, because it's not just about doing the job, is that we want everybody to do better, because if everybody does a little bit better, then the state of Michigan's better, we all win in that scenario. So I do a tremendous amount of speaking. Bethany, who did the work for you, does a tremendous amount of speaking. We do the articles as part of that outreach effort, because again, this is important to us.
Claire, did you have anything else?
No, the hybrid is, I'm great with.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time.
Next, we have Gambridge and Company. Gambridge.
Burbage is represented by Matt Holland and he's on Zoom.
I would share my video. I apparently can't share it right now on my screen. I can start, or do you want me to try to? There we go.
You go ahead, start.
There we go. So probably a lot of what you've just heard, I logged on halfway through Manor's presentation. Kind of a very similar process. I'm going to try to answer some of your questions at the same time. So we do the same thing. We kind of flex over the place, either do a remote audit, hybrid, or fully in person. I think in the bid, that might be one of the questions for the future. We do bill out of pocket costs for that. So the bid is just for if we were doing fully remote. Typically that cost would be somewhere around $2,500. We would expect, we're based in Grand Rapids. We do have a few Traverse City staff. And then I know you had questions about quality control. We like every other firm you probably heard from, go through our audit procedures, and then we have a secondary review of everything that we do by someone that wasn't involved in the engagement to make sure that everything we didn't miss anything major or anything like that. On the timeline, once again, we're flexible, probably similar to everyone else's approach. We have an admin person reach out at the end of your fiscal year. So early October, we reach out typically and say, hey, this is when we're looking for, typically based off when you did it in the past. So that first year, we kind of have to develop that report of when you would want to have us on site or start the audit. Typically, we try to do some preliminary procedures as well. If you guys use BSNA, grab BSNA ahead of time, run some of those comparative reports, just see some of those major things like, oh, hey, we can tell you to change a major receivable, either the property tax, delinquent revolving funds, opioid, etc. Kind of go through some of those things to make sure that, yeah, you guys are prepared for us and that there's no major surprises, no major out of scope issues that arise. Timeline, I think we'd probably be very similar to everyone else. Typically late December for most of our September 30 clients, or early January, ideally, depending on when you guys are ready. As far as staff, we typically, like I said, we send a mix. We'll typically have a manager on site, 2 or 3 staff as well, working on the engagement for most of the part. And yeah, the other parts that quite a few of us we're predominantly governmental auditors, probably 80%, and then 20% nonprofit. So once again, we also focus on government. Most of us just purely enjoy that. As weird as the arcane nature of the modified accrual and full accrual accounting is, we kind of enjoy that. Kind of creates a nice niche to be very I find it enjoyable and entertaining, but other people can, I know, find it a little bit crazy. I guess, yeah, as far as our approach, like I said, normally we do that preliminary, we do the on-site, we do the final. For county, it typically will depend from that on-site time. Normally we're about a month out, depending on component units. We have some counties where component units can kind of hold up the final report until pretty close to the end of the reporting period. But normally we try to have that report, your part of the report, done so you guys can review it, go over it first before we have any issues arise. This is all I really would have on our side. Are there any questions?
Matt, where are you guys located?
So I and 70–80% of our staff are based in Grand Rapids. Another 50% are based in Traverse City, and then we have a few remote workers in Lansing, Sturgis, where we used to have an office. Just a couple random people that are throughout the state.
Commissioners, questions? Commissioner Serbrook,
None.
Commissioner Mayhew, Commissioner Scott.
How many counties you work with?
We do 6 September 30 year ends, and I think 10 12/31 year ends, so about 15.
Northern Michigan also?
2 UP counties, yeah, Manistee, Emmett, Allegan, Berry, kind of do it mostly the west side, and then the just some sporadic northern Michigan counties.
Cities too?
Yes.
Cities also?
Yes, quite a few cities. Once again, all over the state, all the way up in Bessemer to all the way down to Sturgis. Over to
So townships also?
Yep. Townships, fire authorities, transits, pretty much all of the major types.
And the only private is nonprofits?
Yep. And then we do some nonprofits. Most of them are quasi-governmental, like the community actions and those types of organizations.
Okay, yeah.
Commissioner Wiltie.
No question.
Tim, do you have any questions?
Can't think of any.
Karen,
I do not.
clerk.
Nope, he answered everything.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you all for your time. Hope you have a good rest of your meeting.
Thanks, you too. Next, we have Raymond Robinson. Good evening. Come on up, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
What is evening now, isn't it?
It is.
I am Doug Dieter with Raymond, and I put together a little PowerPoint. I printed it for you, so everybody can have a little copy. This basically, just pulls out some of the stuff that was in our proposal that we kind of feel is important.
Perfect.
It highlights some more information about our firm and about who we work with and what we do. Thank you.
So I'll just take a few minutes to run through that and then obviously be open to any questions that you might have. So to start off, we've listed what we consider your primary Raymond team if you were to partner with us. And that's on the second slide there. So myself would be the principal in charge of the engagement. I'd be responsible for ensuring the engagement is done timely and done in accordance with professional standards. Jason is a senior manager, so he would be on site. He would be doing some of the first review and monitoring the day-to-day activity and processes of going through the audit. And then Ashley Sostek is a supervisor, so she would be kind of underneath Jason. She would be coordinating the work with the staff people, doing some work herself and that type of thing, as well as supervising. And then Rachel, she has recently joined Raymond. She was actually the Otsego County administrator for years. I don't know, I think Tim probably knows Rachel. So she's kind of, we have a client ambassador. So what we try to do is solicit feedback from our clients to ensure that the audit team is doing what they want to do. And we feel like an independent ambassador is somebody that can actually solicit that feedback honestly, and get that information to provide to the audit team to determine how we can improve the process. So it's just an additional person to reach out to that's not involved with the audit process. So the agenda, you can see there on page 3, our firm, Raymond, it was Raymond Robson at one time. It was Raymond Group. We've changed names several times, but our history hasn't changed. We're founded in 1941. We actually have 21 offices now, just recently added a new office. Our 2024 revenue is over 220 million. We're shooting for 250 this year. We are based significantly in Michigan, throughout Michigan. And we also have offices in Ohio and Florida. But our main base and started here in Michigan, just in Saginaw, just south of here. So we're local. We have over 1,100 employees and we're considered the 38th largest accounting firm in the nation. So what do we do for public sector? We have a whole department that's all they do is public sector audit. And then we have a whole nother department that does public sector, what we call solutions, or you're outsourcing your accounting assistants, that type of thing. So we have two entire departments that service our public sector industry. And you can see there in 2024, we've invested over 162,000 hours into our public sector industry through audits and our solutions group doing helping out the public interest entities. As you can see there, we have more than 30 counties that we work with, either audits or we do some sort of accounting, HR solutions, that type of thing for those counties. Over 100 school districts, over 80 cities, villages, and townships, 560 not-for-profits. We do over 30 colleges and universities, and over 180 other governmental entities. So again, this is firm-wide. Audit will be staffed out of our Saginaw office, which is just south of here, as you know. And we have an audit team of 13 people that I lead and perform all the audits in. Generally, we're in the central Michigan area. We do travel to the UP some, the northern tip of the Lower Peninsula some, and we go down as far as Lansing as well and do work down that way. But outside of those areas, they're picked up by other offices. Traverse City, there's an office, Traverse City, Jackson, Grand Rapids, Troy, Detroit, that type of thing. So we kind of break up the area to fit those different geographic locations. One thing that I think is important is we do an annual survey of all our clients and to get their feedback and to rate us of how we're doing. And so this NPS, it's called Net Promoter Score. There's a firm that does this, and so we do it annually. And we have rated, we've gotten the Diamond Award the last 5 years in a row, which is very high. We're in the top 5% of, fewer than 1% of accounting for the United States and Canada earn that award. So we're rated very high by the people we do work with. Because we work hard to generate those relationships, create those good working relationships, and develop that with the client to consider to keep working with us. Consistent staffing. So this is important to our clients because you're not training the auditors, right? We don't have new people come in every year. We have a core group, like I showed you on the first screen. Jason and Ashley would be a core group. Yeah, we're going to rotate some staff in and out and that type of thing, give like a fresh set of eyes. But we don't throw all brand new people at you, right? We want to make sure that we're helping you guys learn, help train you guys as necessary through the audit process, and that you're not working to train our staff. And so the average associate tenure at Raymond is 9 years. So that shows you how well, not only do our clients enjoy working with us, our staff sticks around as well and continues to assist clients. Our audit approach probably isn't a whole lot different than what you've heard from the other firms. This just kind of puts in 4 different boxes for you. The next one, one of the things I heard you guys say was about the review, the technical review process and that type of thing. That was one of the questions I heard. So, we have a staff member prepares the work papers, gets them all ready. It's reviewed by their supervisor. It's then again reviewed by me. And then in a first year audit, we have an additional step that's reviewed. The whole audit is reviewed by an external principal in Raymond. It's not involved with the audit process, just to make sure nothing was missed in the first year. The second year, that process is done just on your financial statements, not on all the work papers. So, it continues to have that extra set of eyes that's not involved in the audit process, just to, catch anything that might have been missed. So it's just that extra safeguard. So Raymond, we not only do audit services and solutions, like I mentioned. The next page, you can see this wheel of all the different services we provide. We have forensic accounting, we have technology solutions, wealth management, financial planning, consulting, lots of different things. Now, as auditors, some of these things impair our independence, so we can't provide them to every client, but they are available to anyone that is interested in those. And, we put together a team for you, right? So we're going to make sure that you have access to anybody that's involved with your audit. We've got some tax people right now working on the energy credits for some local municipalities. And so, that would be part of the team, and they would be involved in the process, be, available to you for questions and that type of thing. So that's what I wanted to cover today. Any questions? I would like to address those for you.
Mr. Serbrook.
I would just like to say, number one, I'm familiar with your firm as an overall. I'm on the board for our local community mental health as well as Commissioner Wiltsey, and you guys
We do.
provide our CFO as well as our HR.
So do you know Richard then?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do a lot of community mental health work, a lot of it.
So you guys have been very valuable for us, and
Thank you.
we truly appreciate it. So question I've thrown out to everybody, do you have an idea as to how long your staff would be in person here? I mean, we've talked about a hybrid,
Yep.
Where the respective offices would upload things, and then, you'll have people here physically, but.
Sure. So, we would be staffing this out of Saginaw, so it's less than an hour away,
Right.
about an hour away. So yes, we would be on site. Although, we offer the hybrid, we offer fully remote. We want to know what the client wants. So we have some clients that after COVID said, we don't want to see you. We want it all remote. So we do it 100% remote for them. We have other clients that say, 2 or 3 days is nice for you to be here on site. Be remote the other couple days. We're willing to structure that, whatever works best for you guys. And, these days with the technology, the audit can be done any of those methods and be done, successfully. So, I think that on an ongoing basis, we're looking at a week and a half, probably 2 weeks of field work, what I would call, whether we're on site, remote or hybrid. First year, I would expect that to be a little bit longer. You have to learn about us, we have to learn about you. And so there's some additional time involved there, but going forward, I think, less than 2 weeks would be sufficient.
Thank you.
Commissioner Mayhew.
Nothing.
Commissioner Scott.
Skip to Charlie.
Commissioner Wiltsey.
No, my question's kind of been just to reduce the risk of error, but you really hit that home, and then you said you had someone on top of that overviewing everything, so pretty much answered my main question.
Okay.
Clerk, do you have anything?
Yep, just how much distraction would it be in my office? How much interaction would we have? I can word that better. I don't mind having interaction at all. How much interaction would we
Well,
have?
okay, I have to apologize, 'cause I don't know exactly how your county works. So some clerks take on other responsibilities that aren't truly clerk responsibilities, so I guess I need to understand that first in
So
order to
basically accounts payable.
accounts payable. Okay.
Yeah, and minutes and.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
You know, those areas I wouldn't expect to be significant. The accounts payable process, usually it runs pretty smoothly and that, you know, everybody wants to get paid, so you make sure that that process is good. But yeah, I think that, you know, I guess I can't give you hours, like, you know, but it
No.
wouldn't be very significant for those two areas, if that's what you're asking.
Karen, is our treasurer?
But I just have a quick question on the timeline,
Sure.
because I'm not familiar with your company.
Okay.
Have you ever had to file for an extension on county audit?
Well, I have not had to file. We've had clients had to file extensions with the state, yes. And I know.
Because of lack on your part or lack on their part?
Actually, the most recent one was, I think somebody mentioned it earlier, a component unit that wasn't done. So
Commission,
a road commission, or this is a medical care facility, actually, my recent recollection. The state does not like to give extensions, so rarely are they given. This client did get one. But yeah, it's
not a common practice.
it's not a common practice, right? We've got, like I said, we've got 1,100 people. If we run into issues, we pull in more people to support our, you know, the staff that's working on it. So if the audit prep is ready, you guys are done and have things to put together, then yeah, there's no issues with getting it done timely.
Okay.
Especially with your September year end, right? You know, we have a lot more December year end clients in our office, so our March to June is really busy. But we don't have that many September year end counties. We have some other clients, but not counties, that it's a little bit open, I guess, for us to help ensure that's done timely.
Okay.
Tim?
So if you are doing the audit and you come across a significant compliance issue while you're doing the audit, what do you do?
So compliance or any finding or compliance related specific?
Any of the above.
Any of the above.
Something significant.
Okay. Our first step is to talk to whoever is in charge of that area, whether it's you, whether it's a clerk, whether it's treasurer, whoever it might be, to ensure that we have a full understanding of what's going on and that we're not missing a piece. Then if it's not your, well, I'm sure we would come talk to you to say, okay, are you aware of anything we're missing? Because we don't want to give findings, right? And I would agree with what Rod said earlier is, you know, those aren't necessarily negative things. They're things to improve, but nobody wants to get findings. We don't want to give findings, but we do whatever we can to make sure that we're right. Let's put it that way, right? And that we're not missing something. A lot of the counties are very segregated in what they do. They have different people responsible for different things. And maybe we didn't talk to the right person. We think there's an issue there. We're going to make sure we find the right person to ensure that we have all the information. And then if we get to the point where, yes, there's an actual finding, you've agreed, we've agreed there's a finding, you know, then we're going to draw up what we think it's going to look like in the audit report. We're going to give you a chance, an opportunity to review it, read through it, provide suggestions for changes, provide your responses which are required, and that type of thing before it gets put in the audit report. Does that answer your question?
Thanks.
I get it.
Commissioner Scott?
Yes, sir.
So on that same line, so you find a discrepancy, item, whatever, you search out, will you still put that in the report and so that we're reading it and then say that it was corrected?
Well, I guess that's two different things. What I was saying is if there's information out there we're not aware of and that information resolves our concern, no, it would not be in your report. If we find an issue and we all agree it's an issue and it gets fixed before the audit's issued, that will show up in your report. So it is because it was an issue during the year. So the board should be hearing about that. So yes, that type of.
Even if corrected?
Even if corrected, yes.
Okay.
It would show up in the audit report. But if it's just, we don't have all the information and we end up getting all the information and there is no issue, then that would not show up in the audit report. No.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's identified as not a.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, sir.
The 30 counties, are they in Michigan or is that some of the counties in like in Ohio?
They're all but one in Michigan. There's one in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Do them in the winter?
I've not had a chance to go down there yet.
They have an office in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Local office.
Yeah, nobody's there during July, but.
They want to come north in the
Yeah.
summer, get rid of the humidity.
Close to us.
Well, we do Midland, Saginaw Bay. Those are probably the three closest. We do Sheboygan, which is up north, which is a smaller one, you know, it's maybe some more similar size to you guys. Then we do Clinton County, Ingham County, which are down further south. And these are just out of my office, my group. But we do counties as big as Oakland. We do, not our office, our Detroit office does Oakland County. We do Washtenaw, we do Kent. So a lot of big counties down south.
I think.
Tim, is this the firm that you worked with when you were in Ingham?
No, they came in after me in Ingham, but they were with us at Isabella.
Yes.
When I was there,
For what period of time?
04 to 2013.
Oh, wow.
We unfortunately lost Isabella in the bidding process this past year. We had somebody underbid us and the price was the most important thing. And they moved on, and which is fine. But we had a long-standing relationship with Isabella County.
Thank you, sir.
So on the same note, I'm not interested. I don't care about the big ones. You got multiple small ones, so.
Well, yeah.
Have UP ones?
We do not have any counties in the UP, no.
So you probably got
Sheboygan
half the
County's-
Lower Peninsula.
I'm sorry?
You probably got half the Lower Peninsula.
We do. If you look in the actual proposal we sent, there's an actual graphic in there, the state of Michigan shaded with all the counties we work with. Or have worked with.
Well, out of 83, there's gotta be 13 up there. So you're down to 60.
Yeah.
Or 70, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, the size of the counties, the smaller they are, you know, there's not a whole lot. They all collect taxes, they all pay the bills, they all pay payroll, right? So the size is just the volume of those transactions.
Nicer people though.
Usually you find nicer people in the rural communities. How's that?
I think so.
Thank you for your time, sir.
You're welcome.
Thanks for making the trip.
Sure.
It is appreciated.
Thank you.
Tim, what timeframe are you looking at making a decision here?
By the end of the month,
Okay.
so we wrap up.
We have 3 others to hear from, right?
Well, we weren't going to.
We weren't going to. Okay.
And we were pretty familiar with Stevenson already, so we didn't figure it was best use of everybody's time to have Stevenson here. We know their process and
I couldn't hear
they
nothing.
assign. There were 2 that we sort of crossed off the list.
Okay.
So, but we can invite them if you'd like to hear from them, but.
No, I'm fine.
I'm good out of the ones that we heard. Commissioner Serbrook, how about yourself?
I'm fine. Good.
Commissioner Mayhew? Commissioner Scott?
No, I'm fine with what we got so far. Like I say, we see Stevenson's. We're not saying that we're not going to, we're just not listening to them. I mean, it's still a choice. But no, I liked hearing from 3 tonight.
Commissioner Wiltie?
Yeah, I'm fine. I thought this was good tonight.
Clerk?
I'm good.
Treasurer? Okay, thank you, sir.
Do we
Tom,
talk about particulars now, or do we gonna wait for another meeting?
sounds like we have time.
Got time. So all of the proposals are also on the iPad. You go down, way down to the bottom where all those meetings are, and there should be well, I'll tell you right now, there's one in there that says audit proposals, 2025 audit proposals. So it should be the first one that pops up after all the meeting folders. So if you want to do a deep dive, it's there and ready to go.
I would like this, definitely put on the next committee of the whole. And even we could have a little discussion maybe at the meeting if the meeting agenda is not too large. I'd like some time to.
Digest it?
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
I agree, Madam Chair.
okay, well. Madam Chairman, I think we may have to take a little bit of time. Next week's meeting if we could, because I'm gonna tell you something, we got all the payroll issues to talk about by the end of the month. We got this to talk about by the end of the month. We have quite a few things on the plate this month.
That's what, if the meeting's not too large, next week, we're gonna add this
All
on.
right,
Yeah,
thank you.
you didn't hear that?
I guess I didn't understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, yeah, absolutely. Commissioner Wiltse, anything?
Oh, good thing.
Tom Spencer, Information Director, Audio Systems Quotes. Tom?
Good evening. In your board packet today is a quote for upgrading the audio system in the commissioner's chambers, which I was asked to look into. I have Jeff on Zoom with us tonight. He is from Smart Home, Smart Offices. A couple things I want to point out about this company. They've been very good to work with so far to obtain the quote. They do support my deal, and they're based in Michigan, so Mason, Michigan. Couple things that I want to point out before turning it over to Jeff is that this system wouldn't allow you to do what you're currently doing now with your setup for the committee of the whole. You would be back at your commissioner's bench. This system would also integrate the microphones that are used for Zoom into the laptop, so that's a very good positive. Not that there's been any issues, but definitely the audio would be clearer. There's one thing on the quote that I'll point out at the bottom of the page, of page 4 or 5, where it says the Williams portion, which is the device that transmits the audio to the devices that someone would wear in the audience. We bought a system very similar to this, and I reached out to them and said, hey, we kind of already have something in place that's very similar to this. Could we use it? That is a possibility. So with that being said, that cost could potentially be $2,000 less. That they would obviously want to test it first. One thing I do want to point out is that the issue that I think brought this to light isn't going to help remedy if somebody shows up on the fly. The issue that night with those devices is somebody unplugged them. We didn't know that information. We didn't know that they were unplugged. All of our correspondence for the public says that you must give us notice if you require something like this. Obviously, this would make it easier, but I can't help it if somebody unplugs the devices in the other room and they were dead when somebody shows up. I think that kind of has to be stressed some more, that somebody's got to let us know so we can accommodate better. But I'm definitely for something like this to help with the audio in the commissioner's chambers and to help make the Zoom audio quality better. Do you have any questions for me so far?
Commissioners?
What is the limitation that we gotta set behind us?
Correct, because it's a wired system, so all those wired mics behind you would be replaced.
Commissioner Mayhew?
You coming through crystal clear, that guy that was on the Zoom for the audit, I heard nothing. I mean, and you coming through, I hear everything you say.
I don't know what he was using to speak. I try to speak as amplified as I can so everybody can hear me. I don't know what his true tone was in his office or what his surroundings were, what his internet was. He could have been on cellular internet as well. I'm not sure.
Like you said, I have trouble. Certain things are just not there.
Commissioner Serbrook?
Tom, is the difference between the two quotes that Williams AV assistive listening device you were talking about, is that the price difference between the, so I see we got two quotes, one for 19 and one for 17. I'm assuming that that's the difference, one with and one without. Is that, am I correct or not?
You are 100% correct.
All right, thank you.
We're gonna hear from Jeff, correct, Tom?
Correct. He is on the line with us.
We're looking at these numbers and these numbers look large, but we definitely have to do something. Commissioners are struggling with hearing. We've attempted a few things that haven't worked. I think that system, how old is that system up there, Tom?
How old is that system up there, you said?
Yes.
It's probably original with the building, so 74 or 79.
It is original to the building.
And there are some township, actually, I was just at one last night meeting where I guarantee you, I heard maybe 50% of things. It's very frustrating to show up to your time, and then to not be able to interact or hear what is going on. So I think that even though these numbers look fairly large, we definitely need to, move forward with something here. So, Jeff, you have the floor.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My video is disabled by the host.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Every time.
Not much to see. It's just me.
That's why I don't turn mine on.
So Thank you for having me. The first thing I would like to put out there for you, I was surprised to see your table set up and was concerned and share the concern that Tom pointed out. The fact is we can support your table setup. I would simply add 2 more wireless table microphones to the proposal. And you would place them on the table, very similar to what I think I'm seeing right now. You have 2 round mics on either end,
Yes,
which are wired into your laptop, which I'm assuming is back at the TV cart.
Yes.
yes.
So that's entirely doable and not a bank breaker. There's a very nice 2-channel tabletop microphone system from Audio-Technica that we could very easily add to the system. In regards to the hearing assistance, we definitely want to check out your system before we would deploy to come up and do the work in the room. And we had asked Tom if he could send that system to us. The system has, the main component is a transmitter, and that transmitter receives the same audio that the speakers get. So it transmits an FM signal to body pack receivers, and then each body pack receiver can be set up with headphones or a neck loop. And the neck loops work with T-coil hearing aids. Very common. It's actually a requirement in public spaces for the ADA, and we can certainly check out what you have. I saw a picture of it, and it's a good model, similar to what we would put in, but we'd want to check it out. So further, I'm not sure what, if all of you have had a chance to review the proposal. Basically, we're going to upgrade your audio, new speakers, and new microphones up on the dais. The microphones are a gooseneck style, and they would be amplified in the room, and they would be brought back, mixed and brought back via USB to connect to your laptop to support Zoom.
Comments, commissioners? Commissioner Scott?
I would receive Zoom on my laptop or my iPad. But I guess I didn't understand.
No, like the audio system in the commissioner's chambers is on its own system now, and our Zoom system is on its own. What it would do is tie those microphones, either the wireless ones for the table or the ones that at your podium, into the laptop. You wouldn't probably use the microphones anymore that are in front of you right now, and I wouldn't set them up on the commissioner's bench any longer. You would just use your existing new system.
Okay.
Commissioner Wiltie?
No, no questions right now.
Did you have something else, Commissioner Scott?
Yeah, in the past, these microphones, we don't use our microphones on our desks up there now because we get background noise, we get buzzing and stuff like that. So all this new stuff is probably a lot better than the 50-year-old microphones.
Yeah, you'll see a vast improvement with the newer equipment. We have Shure microphones. If anybody's familiar with that name in the industry, this is one of the best microphones at the price out there for your use. And then we have an audio processor that mixes the mic, it cancels echo, it reduces noise in the room, it sends it to the amplifier for the speakers, and the other key thing that this audio processor does is it converts it all to USB in a mic mix that comes back and plugs directly into your laptop.
Oh, I see, okay.
Commissioner Mayhew, questions?
No, the only thing I can tell you is I have Miracle Ear hearing aids. That's the kind I have.
Can you hear him okay, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you to repeat that.
He has, this is Commissioner Mayhew. He's got Miracle hearing aids. Will this be compatible, the system, with his hearing aids?
What you're looking for is T-coil. And I'm not a hearing aids expert by any means. My expertise is in the product from Williams AV, which is the hearing assist system. And we could look closer into compatibility with different models of hearing aids, but in general, it's the loop that goes around your neck is inductive, and it transmits magnetically up to your hearing aids to what they call T-coils, which are little receiver coils built into most hearing aids.
As long as they got them.
Commissioner Serbrook. Oh,
I can't guarantee compatibility, but what you're looking for is a T-coil in the actual hearing aid.
Can you give us an approximate, an idea as to what those two additional wireless mics would cost? Just ballpark it. I mean, we talking 500,000?
$1,500, worst
Okay.
case.
Thank you.
Tom, I appreciate your effort into this. I definitely value your opinion here. Your thoughts?
I did message them back, and I specifically told them that, Roger had the capability of like Bluetooth and whatnot, and they don't have a solution. Now, as far as whether or not it'll work with what he has, I'm not sure. I'm in favor. They've been very good to work with so far. We had one company just flat out, I chuckled. I got up from my office, went and told Tim that was a 2-minute conversation. I got on the phone with them. I told them about the room. They said we're not interested. So to reach out to these guys and have them actually appear tonight is huge. The one thing I'd like to ask Jeff to touch on is the audio touch panel. That would be something new, I believe, for you, Jenny, or somebody at the table who would control some of the features during the meeting. Jeff, could you touch on that?
That'd be
Yes.
fantastic.
Certainly.
Can I mute fellow
Control,
commissioners?
control that too.
So it's a little glass tabletop touch panel. It's tethered, which means it has a wired connection. That happens to be a Cat6 network connection. So it has to be on a table surface somewhere. Typically, we would put that in front of the clerk if there was a side table, or up at the dais. It can also be wall mounted, but the purpose of it is it gives you control over the microphones. We have one, and a good example would be, we have one microphone at the lectern for public comment. You would have control over that mic. You could mute that mic if time expired, or if for any reason the content turned objectionable. But it's a standard item. We give you volume control for the mic so you can bump them up a little bit or mute them individually. In your scenario, I don't know how much you would use it, but it's part of a system typical for audio systems such as yours.
Anything else, Tom?
No, I'm all set. I appreciate it.
Commissioners' comments, Commissioner Wiltie?
No, appreciate Tom, you can go on this, and thank you for your time tonight, Jeff.
Commissioner Scott?
I think a system is needed. I don't think it's been good since we turned off
Hearing aid guy.
the microphones, because you can hear out there better. I think some of the people in the back row don't always hear us,
Don't.
especially when we're sitting back there. Would that improve Zoom callers too? Would they be able to hear something better, or?
Well, definitely, yes. We're going to put a gooseneck microphone in front of each board member, which there are 7, and then, or is there 6? 5, 6, 7. Got to make sure I get the. Yeah.
5 with, 1 with administrator, and then I guess we'll let the clerk talk.
She does call the roll.
Yeah.
I have 7 in here. I'm looking at 7 seats.
Yeah.
And then we still need 1 at the lectern if you're going to have public
Comment.
approach the lectern and comment.
Commissioner Mayhew, did you have anything else?
No.
Commissioner Serbrook?
No.
I feel pretty strongly about this. I've been on Zoom before and some individuals you can hear very clear and others you cannot. I've had audience members, tell me personally that they can't hear everything that we say. So we want people to participate. We want them here. We have to, it's a law to accommodate. I think we have to move forward with this. Tim, where would this funding come from?
Well, you're in a good spot in the fiscal year. First of all, there is some money yet in the contingency line. But at this point in the year, we just went through the current budget status as of the end of August this morning. And where we're positioned right now, there will be surplus in addition to what we've already talked about at the end of the year, enough to cover this. So if you wanted to do it, we would do probably a budget amendment and put this in an equipment line under the board under the current year. If you want to wait till fiscal year 26, we can actually literally put it in a line in the budget for 26. Again, an equipment line under Board of Commissioners, you just include it in the budget.
I'm okay with 2026. I mean, that's only,
It's 3 weeks away, so yeah.
are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or because it is an improvement to the building, you could use DTRF. Building Protect Revolving Fund. That way you don't have to budget for it. It's for the building improvement.
It's
Which is
capital.
the whole
invest-
purpose of
capital
that.
investment.
Mm-hmm.
So. Comments?
That's probably where I'd
I
go.
like Karen's suggestion, and I feel it is needed, yes.
Definitely needed,
Well, it's gonna-
and the 2 additional mics.
It's gonna serve more people than just us.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
There's other meetings go on too.
Yeah, but-
Absolutely.
What about the other room? Tom, what about the other room? In there,
The side chambers,
yeah.
I mean, I guess Jeff, I don't know, if we could,
We don't really need microphones, do we? Just need to make sure the Zoom is good in there.
I think, well, we could still use the Logitech system. It would just be unhooked from where it's the TV. It would probably, this would be wired. So the TV would be static to where it is now for your meetings, both meetings, but we could unhook the USB cable and still use those Logitech mics that are in front of you now in the other rooms if needed.
Is it an
That
overflow
we can
room?
put, that way we can put the camera in there, right?
Yes, Jeff, there's 2 side rooms there. They're with 2 large tables in it. And
Yeah.
there's a divider curtain.
Well, you can, your mobile television cart can do double duty. You can roll it into this room, plug it into the wall plate we're gonna give you, which is a USB audio connection into the audio system. You can unplug that and plug in your Logitechs and take it in the other room, no problem. You just have to make sure you pick the right microphone from the Zoom audio settings when you start a meeting.
So I guess would you guys like to? Go ahead.
What about the annex building?
It's got its own cart. If you want, it would be a separate system through these guys, but
Yeah,
How does this goes?
other carts could join your meeting from Zoom if they're properly equipped. A cart with a TV, possibly a sound bar with camera and microphones, and you're off and running. And you could join any meeting through Zoom.
Well, I'm not so much with Tom, I'm not so much annex building and Zoom as annex building and better hearing in there. Because that's the same problem. It's a long room and people get in there and they can't sit in the, they want to sit in the church seats back there and they can't hear anything.
I can send them pictures tomorrow, Craig. I'm sure Jeff, you guys could put
I
something
think we
together for it.
should. If we're gonna tap this fund over here, let's
Interest
do it.
income from the fund.
Well, whatever, but I mean, let's do this right for everything we need it for. You know what I'm saying?
We can start
We
with
would-
one.
We would not be
Right there.
opposed to making a trip up to Ogemaw County and taking a look at these other spaces, taking a look at this room. That wouldn't be a problem whatsoever.
I think we need to keep that definitely on our mind, but for right now, I would like to initiate this and see how this goes and move forward from there.
All right.
Test it.
See if we're happy.
But you can still come up and see us, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, as long as the weather's still good.
Do you guys want to put this on the meeting I would like to move forward with this then. Do you want to put this on the meeting and?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Let's move forward. Discussion items, fiscal year 2026 budget. District Health Department number 2 request for a 10%, $12,959 allocation increase. Tim?
All right, I have loaded their increase request on the iPad so you can see what it is. The question was asked at the last meeting about their fund balance. I did hand out a page from their audit, their most recent audit, which was
Just presented.
yeah, September 30th of 24. Their fund balance was $3,084,752. That's about 43%.
They have a good fund balance.
You have anything to say?
Well, I really go back and forth on it. I certainly appreciate the work they do. I've had the opportunity to work with some of the health department people. They're definitely very dedicated. My caution is this: you are obligated, or we are obligated as the county, to maintain what's called their it always escapes me when I try to say the word, the maintenance of effort that we are compelled to maintain. Same is true with Well Vance, and we have a few other areas, defense, indigent defense, and so on. My concern is you increase this by 10% or almost $13,000, you're going to continue to pay that continuing from here on. All right, so that now becomes part of your maintenance of efforts. You don't go below that. Now, that being said, the presentation was they've not seen any increase since 2018. There certainly has not been an increase since I've been here. And we all know what prices have done. I didn't hear anything in the presentation about what the funding will go for. I mean, we heard a lot about, well, prices have gone up, we need more money, and almost using those terms. And it didn't convince me that they have a specific need for this, other than they're seeing the same things we're seeing. You know, things are being cut elsewhere, it's going to impact them. So, I keep going back and forth. Is it reasonable? Well, considering they've not seen anything since 2018, yes, it's reasonable. But I think our test needs to go a little farther than that. What is it going to fund? What specifically? We're in, especially ask that with the 43% fund balance. Okay, so where is the need? So I'm not convinced yet, but I don't necessarily want to shut the door on them either.
I think we need to take care of our own before we help with a $3 million fund balance. When our fund balance is $3 million, then we'll.
Mark's the vice chair.
The Commissioner Serbrook.
What they're projecting right now, without dipping into their fund balance, is a $96,000 deficit. If all the counties gave 10%, they would still be looking at having to take some funds from their fund balance. I brought it up when they were here last week, and I'm positive that we were told at the last meeting that Iosco County only granted a 3% increase. Oscoda County said 10. Alcona County said 10 or up to, but I'm sure that Denise said that they all have to be the same. She was hoping that if we, as Ogemaw County, said a certain percentage, then that we could get all 4 counties together to agree on, let's say, 4% or 5%, whatever, So, I mean, they do have a healthy fund balance. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And they're running scared just like Well Vance is, because they don't know what's going to happen with Medicaid. And the majority of their fund dollars are Medicaid dollars, which are restricted funds. County allocations are not restricted. Now, I don't know how much of the fund balance is restricted and how much is non-restricted. And I still have my audit report, and I should have pulled that out, because I believe it breaks it down as to what's restricted and what's not.
Yeah, the audit page does not show that.
Doesn't it?
So it's not to say that they don't have some internal accounting where they've done that.
Right.
Their audit doesn't display.
Yeah, because they've got restricted accounts, just like we do, that are, it's not all general fund dollars, because they get the vast majority of their funding from the state and the federal government, which is, you know, geared towards specific programs and therefore it's restricted, so.
But they didn't, you know, it would have been nice in their report if they would have, given us ideas of what programs they were looking at cutting and what adjustments they were gonna.
Yeah, see, they don't, in all honesty,
They're not doing that.
they don't know what's gonna get cut and what's not gonna, they already know they're losing 2 positions for sure because of funding cuts at, I believe, the state level, either the state or the federal level. There's a possibility, as of right now, that they're gonna lose that mobile dental van that they've got with their dental hygienist that goes to the schools and provides fluoride treatments to the kids that are in the schools. You know, they're gonna have the niece as the head person. She's gonna have to sit down with her staff when the funding comes down and determine what's gonna get cut and what doesn't, and then present it to us as a board to vote on.
So
And
I guess,
so-
what percentage are you looking at as far as allocation from us?
Would I like to sit here and say, give them 10%? I'm not going to. I asked, who gave them 3, let's give them 3.
Commissioner Mayhew.
I mean, it's something, again, I'm sorry to interrupt, but they haven't had anything since, there hasn't been an increase since 18. You know, so I mean,
First 2 years I was here, I was on that board. And Mr. Serbrook and Craig will both tell you. That lady tells you straight up, when they get the funding, they hire a person. When the funding goes away, so is the job. And we've been told that how many times?
they do try and look at sustainability, but they have done that. And they've made it clear to those employees, this is a, you know, there's no guarantee. We know it's funded for 2 years or 3 years. We can't tell you where your position's gonna be when the funding runs out, so.
Continue.
So, I mean, I've been there and I knew she had a big fund balance. I knew the guy knew he had to know it's his job, but I've been to the meetings and she says she wants to have 3 million all the time. That's what her fund balance wants to be, is 3 million. So I knew this stuff before, and like you said, I understand that we haven't given them any in the last while, but that when you go to her meeting, she will tell you that you don't worry about her. As soon as the money dries up, so is the job. But right now, she just wants us to fund it. And like you said, she don't know which job she's gonna lose.
When does a decision have to be made by? By October?
They've asked for it as part of our budget process, so we would, you know, by the end of the month, either have it in the budget or not.
Commissioner Scott.
Well, I sat on the board now since the first of the year. And right away, the first meeting, they're already telling us that we're gonna get cut back from the federal government and everything. I thought I was watching CNN, really. And I had to say something. First meeting, yeah, believe it or not, Jed.
You.
Yeah, I told him right off the bat, wait a minute, you're just scaring us. No, nothing has come out from the government at all about any cuts to medical, to Medicare, to anything other than illegal aliens. Nothing has come out. How can you sit here and you tell us that you're gonna get cut? You know, what happens if we pay extra money and then nothing gets cut? Same thing as what Tim just told us. Well, now that we're on the hook, we're gonna pay it next year and the next year. So what's next year's scare tactic? Once you get cut, come and talk to me. But don't sit there and project a cut when you haven't seen it. You're just listening, that's rumors. That's just, she's making this up, want to scare me into giving them, I don't even want to give them any increase. Show me a problem first. You gotta cut people because of real spending cuts coming down the line, then I'm talking to you. But I just, and then one of the other commissioners said the same thing. that was there, a veteran, what was that Dutcher?
Yes.
Yeah, the chairman, he even said that. He said, yeah, this talk is all over the place. We're hearing it every place. I'm sick and tired of hearing it every place. It hasn't happened. We've had a change in our federal government now for what, 9 months now? And we've not seen all these huge changes everybody told us. What, our economy was supposed to be tanked way back in June, right? And the stock market's at the highest point ever in history. Of course, you know, that's not the government's fault it's high, it's government's fault when it's low. You know, no, I don't want to give them any money. Not until they have a problem.
Commissioner Wiltie.
I appreciate a lot of their services, and I definitely don't want to shut the door to them, but by looking at this fund balance and then just going back for a little bit, what we learned this morning at our budget committee, I mean, yes, we've worked hard to get where we're at as a county. We have a long ways to go. There is possibilities of us losing state funding, so we've got a long ways to go. They got $3 million fund balance, 40-some%. We won't close the doors to them. We realize the importance of them. We're here. Our balance, our budget is floating. We can make changes throughout the year. I at this point right now would agree with Commissioner Scott.
I'm gonna agree with Commissioner Scott and Commissioner Wiltie as well. I don't think right now is the time for us to increase this whatsoever. We had to cut a lot of individuals over the past year. I think it's very important. We're in negotiations. We're looking at some employee wages. I think we need to take care of our own. I agree that there is a lot of programs, but I would want more information as far as what programs were cut, what that means. We were provided very minimal information last week. I don't know if it was because it was a last minute. I don't really know, but you know, it'd be different if we were looking at a $3 million fund balance, but we're not. So I'm in no position. I agree communication can remain open, but my answer is nothing at this time. Okay.
Yeah.
Children Advocacy Center request for 100% $5,000 allocation increase.
You got the email on the iPads from the Children's Advocacy Center. I think Commissioner Serbrook has brought this up once before.
Twice.
Twice. Okay, they made the formal request now, so it's on your table.
Commissioner Serbrook.
I think it's a service that this county has relied on as well as other counties. They do a fantastic, we heard LaDonna sing their praises. I think that it's justified. I really do. I think it's a service that we would be in trouble if we didn't have, because we wouldn't be able to prosecute several people for child abuse, sexually and physically, without it. And I think they do a great service, and I'm very much in favor of giving them an additional $5,000.
Commissioner Mayhew.
Which one's this?
The Child Advocacy in Roscommon that cover this county as well, but their main location is Roscommon. They just
Yeah.
purchased the previous.
Craft Center, the school up there.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Part of the old school in Roscommon.
They're doing some significant renovations, and I received that email, Tim, that they're definitely moving forward with that.
Yeah.
There's an open house scheduled, I think, the end of September.
Right.
And if I can, Roger, what they do is they do the forensic interviews for kids. By law, they have to be forensically interviewed. Just law enforcement can't interview them. She came in and gave us that presentation. I think you probably remember that and talked
She
about
was
it.
here when I
Right.
first got here. She
Yep.
come through.
Yep. So
Commissioner Scott.
I know how the impact they have. I've had friends that have used them and everything else, but we gotta take care of our own site too. I would not be opposed to a $5,000 increase this year. It'd be a one-time thing and we can look at it next year. I don't wanna just say we're from now on, our allocation is that. If they need something now, a little extra, because I know they're making some changes, then we can look at it next year at the same time. But this is just like Tim said with the health department. We sign on for an annual allocation, we're saddled with it year after year after year.
Well, actually, to correct that, we do an annual contract with them, so they will bring in a contract shortly after the fiscal year starts. You'll be asked to approve the contract with this amount.
Well, there you go.
Commissioner Wiltie.
Yeah, I think we need to do all we can to protect our children and, you know, I've been very impressed with them. This is the third year now as commissioner and they come and they present and I've done some research on what they do. And obviously they've got some new, work going on there in, Roscommon County at their facility. I think, that we hands down should do the 5,000. And I think as long as they keep continuing to come, give us reports, we see that any children in our county is, you know, taking advantage of this and using this service for such a horrible thing. I think $10,000 is where we should be at.
I was at that presentation, Commissioner Serbrook was at, and they talked about a possible millage. They were talking about where they were at as far as fund balance, as far as growing. There was a lot of private donations, which was primarily from Roscommon County, some really significant numbers there. You know, the concerning thing is we are looking better financially, so now we have numerous entities asking us for money. They're growing, they're not cutting programs, they're not cutting back, which again, I'm a huge advocate of this service. But we haven't heard of anybody coming in saying that they don't have funding for the services that are needed in this area. I don't think $5,000 is a significant amount of money, but if we continue giving and giving and giving, I'm just concerned that we're gonna be back to where we are.
One other thing, I think we listened to the probate when Judge Williams was here and Mike, and we reviewed their fund balance. I think we could take a little bit off that $450,000 fund balance. And some of it can go this way. Because what they're dealing with the kids, you know, that court system probably uses them more than any other court system.
Prosecutor we use.
Prosecutor.
Yeah.
Could you see if they'd be okay taking, that's an excellent idea, taking $5,000 off that,
Well, I was talking with, I think 400,000 fund balance is good enough over there. I'm thinking take 50 grand and help our general fund with it. Myself.
I'd be good with this 5,000.
No, I mean.
We're kind of getting derailed here. Let's,
Well, I know, but we're talking budget here.
kind of.
And $400,000 fund balance for the reasons that Judge Williams laid out, because that big problem could happen. I think 400,000 would handle it. Take the 50,000 and put it on our general fund and then some of it can go to this and maybe some go to different other places, but.
Commissioner Wiltie, did you have something?
I just want to add, I think Judge Williams and Mike made a really good case, the fact that we should have 400,000, but I feel very confident and I think we should take out 50,000 and 5,000 of that could be used for this additional 5.
I would be in favor of using 5,000 out of their fund balance. That way we're not hurting our general fund whatsoever.
Yep.
Comments?
Agreed. Great idea.
But I really got correct. Next year, don't just give them 5. If they don't need it, don't give it to us.
It's an annual contract, so we have to reevaluate it every year.
Right.
Yep. Okay. Elected official and at-will employee wages.
And reloaded the spreadsheet on here just to refresh memories. Have anything more to report than that? It's all the same numbers. I have contacts out to our neighboring counties on the at-will positions that don't have a critical mass of data yet to work with, but I expect by the time we meet next, I will have. But these numbers are pretty static. They're not going to change right now. These are based on current wages across these other counties.
Comments, Commissioner Scott?
I get the sense from talking across the table and everything that we're kind of all different places. I think I would suggest that as commissioners, we give Tim our ideas down to dollar amounts per whatever, and he can build a better chart specifically to our wants.
Not to a percentile?
Well, maybe I like the 60th percentile and you like the 65th. You know, and you know, maybe each one of these percentiles, each one of us commissioners like a different one. So yeah, and we're not stuck on these. I mean, this just gives us,
Right.
so, but if you wanna take one line there and increase that line by 5,000. You wanna do it in one step or two steps or whatever. We need to I'm saying relay this to Tim. He can put a spreadsheet together and show what, because if we all got different ideas, and I know there's gotta be 2 or 3 different ideas right now on 5 of us. So that means that we gotta come up with a number.
Yep.
And we gotta compromise that number. So let's feed him with what our individual ideas are. Let him come up with that average number and see if we can all live with that.
I agree. I think versus us
How's that?
sitting here spinning our wheels for a half hour and still end
Yeah.
at the same spot we start. I think I like that idea.
I like that.
You okay with that?
Yes,
Tim, are you okay with that?
absolutely.
Okay, and I appreciate, we got an email today from the clerk. I appreciate that email.
I did too.
So thank you, is what I'm
I
saying.
agree with her.
Wow,
Appreciate
Hey.
you know, so
next, old jail
you.
salvage. Hi, LaDonna.
Perfect timing.
Old jail salvage.
So this one and the Veterans Memorial Project are really part of the same overall set of ideas. I'll start with the old jail salvage and then turn it over to LaDonna, to talk about the Veteran Memorial. I was talking with Commissioner Wiltsey after one of our meetings, and and he might have brought it up at a committee of the whole meeting too. Before we do anything with that building that removes it, it might be a good idea. In fact, I would agree. I think it is a good idea to have a salvage company or two walk through there, because there are things in there that would have salvage value. They can extract any metal out of there. They can take it to a metal, what they call those places, scrapyard.
Scrapyard.
But and then
Recycle.
right. So obviously, this will be a new thing for me too, but we would get a cut of that, I guess, for lack of another word. They come in there, they will salvage and provide the county 40%, whatever. And we could have a couple of companies kind of bid against each other to, whoever gives us the best deal. I like this for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's taking something of value out of that building. We're not just taking it to a landfill now. There's something of value that somebody can use. Great, let's do it. It also, I think, gets a little bit more community involvement. I don't know how many people that we have here in the community that go through salvage like that, but you know what? If you're interested, take a walk through. If you think you can get some value out of this, then let's do it. And that way, I think we can all feel better that we didn't just throw something away that was perfectly good, for lack of another reason. Now, I'm going to turn this over to LaDonna. These go hand in hand now, because obviously the salvage would be prelude to actually tearing the building down and doing something different. LaDonna's got, I think, a very good outline here of what to do that would help us take the current challenges that we have with our Veterans Memorial and put it into a location that the community can really be proud of.
LaDonna, you have the floor.
Thank you. So I know it's late and
Tommy.
all of you got this in your packet?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not gonna repeat everything that's in there, and I kind of outlined in this little article, I think the reasons why we need to improve the Veterans Administration's memorial and really make a nice green space park so that people can go there and pay tribute in a nice atmosphere. Does anybody have any questions or about anything that was in the proposal? So, I don't want you thinking that we're putting the cart before the horse, but the reason that we kind of want to get this subcommittee up and running
is we know that most governments, fiscal years are October, to November. So this October, there's gonna be some financing opportunities, like it may be in the form of grants. So if we had a committee in place, we can start exploring, these grant opportunities right away. So that we can get more money into the coffers, so we really can make this park, something nice. We're afraid that if we wait, because we're kind of like the last step in this whole process, the first being the salvage, and he's correct. There's money in that building still. I mean, there's a boiler, there's air conditioning. Now they're old, but that's one of the reasons why they have value, because getting parts, for those old boilers and that old air conditioner is very difficult. So someone who owns this type of business, this salvage company, would be very interested in those items because they could purchase them, they could take them apart and then sell the parts as needed. So they could come in, they could give us a number, they can salvage it, and then once everything of value is out of that building, obviously we're going to have to, tear it down. That's going to be a cost. Then once it's teared down, I believe that the overall plan is to make that a parking lot, which would be great for those that are accessing this building, because it would be right behind it and you wouldn't have to cross streets. So, if you have children or if you're elderly, you're not going to be going across Houghton Avenue, which is a nightmare, or even crossing on our busy court days when we have lots of traffic in the back, to city crosswalks to get to this building. So that would be perfect. We also talked a little bit about the fact that this county building has no storage. Storage is always at a premium, and right now we are using the jail as a storage facility. It's not the best storage facility because we have holes in our roof and we have leaks, and some of those cells back there attract mold, which is why I had to move some of my stuff out. So what we would like to see would be I don't know what you want to call it for lack of a better word, like a storage barn or garage in the back of the parking lot that could even run the whole width of the parking lot with separate rooms. You don't need windows. All you need is a door. And then maybe the prosecutor's office could have one, the clerk's office could have one, register of deeds. We could all have a spot to store our files and, whatever stuff that were overflowing from this building. So we'd have the parking lot there, we have the parking lot at the jail, we have the parking lot behind the building, we have the parking lot at the extension office, and then we also have the parking lot across from the extension office. So our thought at that point would be to solve the problem with the Veterans Memorial being on the busiest street we have in town. And whenever we have events, it's really hard to hear, right? Because traffic is going back and forth. There's no shade, there's no seating. It's really not a good place for people to go and be reflective, take the kids and, explain, but why it's there and what the service members have done for our country. It's just not a good place, I think, to pay proper tribute to our veterans who we owe so much to. We can make that a green space, tear up the concrete and develop some kind of plan that it would be in more of a residential area, not on a main road, nice and quiet, and a nice park for our residents to enjoy. Now, one thing that's missing from this proposal is a budget. And the reason it's missing is because I can't do a budget unless I know what our design plan is. And we don't have a design plan yet because we have to obviously get information from the general public, get their ideas, and then put together a plan, and then we can form a budget. But we were thinking that we were going to try to be able to do it by several different ways. I know law enforcement, for example, was thinking about having a little corner where maybe they could put a memorial for police officers. They've already told me that they were willing to fundraise for that. maybe have a golf outing so that they could purchase, you know, maybe a headstone or a flag or a bench or something to that effect. So I do think once we get this up and running, we'll have a lot of community support as far as people willing to volunteer their time or their services. I heard their expertise even. And we also thought of ways to raise revenue to offset the cost by selling maybe, you know, the benches. So if people want their name on a bench to honor a loved one that served. Selling, you know, the flagpoles, selling the trees that are gonna be in the park, so they could have a plaque next to the trees. We estimated just roughly around 50 grand, right? Just on selling that, and that's if we only sold one pole to one person. If we put more than one person's name on a pole, that revenue could go even higher. So we have a lot of great ideas. But what we would like at this point, and the only thing that we're asking for is not approval for the park. We're just asking to allow us to form a subcommittee so that we can explore the possibility of it.
Commissioner Wiltie, I think you're taking the lead on this.
Well,
Jill?
I've asked LaDonna in our talks, we've had a few meetings, me, LaDonna and Tim. I've asked LaDonna to chair the subcommittee if it's something that we can form, and LaDonna brought the point to run it under the Parks and Rec, which I think would be appropriate. I would like to be on the committee. We know Jeff with veterans, and Jeff has a few people that like to be on that committee. But I've asked LaDonna to chair it, and you did say you would. Yeah, I think, you know, we've got some real good conversations started. I think we got a great opportunity with the things that are gonna happen here. It's not gonna happen overnight.
No.
I think the subcommittee could really get some good things going to present to you guys, and I think the possibility of grants. I think a lot of local contractors, for the reason of what the park is for, would want to get involved and put their quality craftsmanship on it. I think we can raise money. I think it can be beautiful. I'm excited about it.
Jeff, you're on the phone. Did you have anything to add to this? You're muted if you're trying to talk. There you go.
There we go. No, I happen to see it on the agenda, so I just pulled the sheet off. But yes, I do have several veterans that are very interested in ensuring that they are on the committee. They want to have some input into this.
Perfect. Commissioner Scott?
What's the priority? How high is the priority to have this within the site of the county building?
So it would be inside of the county building.
I'm asking, what's the priority level to have it within sight of the county? Is that very high? I mean, are you just using these parcels because we own them?
We own them.
If we owned a parcel someplace else away from the county building, would you be opposed to using that?
So, no, you know, we'll take all your suggestions and we'll look at everything.
Okay.
I think the only reason why we picked that spot is because it's centrally located. It's not far from the current memorial.
Okay.
There's other advantages that we talked about. I mean, right now, when we have a memorial parade, we have to shut down the main drag.
Right.
And last time, quite frankly, they didn't even shut the main drag down. They only shut one side of the street down, which I thought was a little dangerous. But we could reroute the parade down Wright Street, which is totally residential, keep the main drag open. We wouldn't, you know, impede traffic in any way. And I think it would be safer for the veterans. I think it would, you know, it'd still be an opportunity for people to come out. It's centrally located. And there's plenty of parking around that park too, because they have the parking right across the street. So it would be very accessible to veterans who, quite frankly, are getting older in age and have mobility issues. So it would not be hard for them to access and use the park.
Okay. Well, we do own 2 lots on 7th Street. When the parking lots really back up to it. We would not lose any existing parking if we use that.
Okay. I mean, it's something.
I think we'd have to talk to the city planning commission to make sure that they're okay with having a park there. One other thing, and I know this is a lot farther out of town, but I sat on the airport board And there's a spot at the end of the airstrip that Ben, our manager out there would like, he's had this little thing, he'd like to have a park. And it's an elevated area. And I just talked to him the other day and I said, hey, call our engineers and see if there's some grants out there and throw the veteran side of it to it. Now, I did not see any of this. I just said, throw the veterans to it, you know, because, you know, multiple veterans parks is not a bad thing.
No,
But we threw that out there. But I'd like to utilize that property on 7th Street because it's just sitting there.
how big is it, Craig?
It's 2 city lots, 3 city lots. Yeah,
It's as
big as that big park.
it's the same size as the parking lot across from the annex.
Yeah.
That strip runs all the way to 7th Street.
Okay.
And I think if I can,
It sits behind Ingman's office on the other.
I think that would probably be a better plan for the simple fact that number one, we don't know when that old monstrosity sitting behind us is gonna get torn down. You wanna be moving forward as fast as you can, looking at the potential for grant funding this fiscal year. And I don't know, and Tim, you can probably answer this. I know that we had somebody look at that for demo, but they weren't aware of the fact that there is a huge crawl space underneath that thing. Has anybody looked at it since that you know of? Or
Nobody wants to go over there.
and you know, and I'm gonna jump off topic for a minute here, but I was thinking, you know, that crawl space is complete with electricity. I'm wondering if maybe the light switch isn't on for that crawl space, because you'd never see it, because there are no windows or anything. If that's not what's eating up some of our electric bill.
There might be people living down.
Somebody could have flipped a switch.
Where is the switch to it? Is that?
In the garage. Garage.
Oh,
But guys,
I'll go over there with you if you want.
I'm-
to actually go with it.
I'm
Who's
not.
going to access that building?
I'm,
Sure.
because Donna, my question is, we're kind of getting derailed here, but my
I know.
question is, if we're looking at that site, could these grants and this funding help support demolishing that site? Do you see, I mean, do you see what I'm saying? I mean, if that could help us overall, I hate to rule that site out. I mean, if that could help with more funding
Yeah.
to get that job done, kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I think this is an excellent idea. You're just looking for us for a subcommittee? Absolutely. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what further guidelines or guidance you need from us, but I mean, that's a hands down. I think this is excellent. I think our community really supports the veterans. They're very well seen. They're very well known. I think they do an excellent job. Jeff with resources and everything else. So
I think if we got a commissioner on, just make it a subcommittee of the commissioners. I said I'm the chairman of the Parks and Rec Board. We don't need anything more on our plate. Even a committee that doesn't talk to us, it doesn't matter. Just put it under the commissioners.
did you follow that? I didn't
so
follow it.
What we would want is, list of names. We'll put that in front of the board. I put together a resolution, you'd form the committee and we're off and running.
Perfect. Did you get what you needed?
Yes, and Jeff, if you can still hear me, I'll call you tomorrow to get those names from you, okay?
Yep, got it. I won't be here tomorrow, but I'll let Jared know.
Okay, and if we don't touch base, then make sure we get in contact with each other on Monday,
Okay.
just not before 10 o'clock.
And you have a previous commissioner sitting back there too, that's a veteran, so
Yes,
I'm sure she would be very valuable
Yours.
to the committee.
we were talking
Don't
about it.
forget about her.
So, all right, that's fine. And I'm willing to look at, I want to take a walk over there because the only thing that I'm not picturing is parking and, making sure that it's handicapped accessible and all that kind of stuff, but I'll take a look. Not on the agenda, but one thing I wanted to bring up is, I'm sure you guys all saw it from our new windows.
It's a blank wall.
It's a blank wall. Not very attractive, I'm hearing good things about the windows. Employees seem to like it, and I've had a couple of comments of just the public at large telling me that they think the county building looks so much nicer. But this is ugly. you know, so I had a brief talk with Commissioner Wilsey. By brief, I mean, I grabbed him as I saw him walking down the hall and said, we gotta do something about this, because it doesn't look nice. And I thought maybe the commissioners might want to think about having like a mural contest. You know, we have so many great artists. Every time I go to the fair, I'm just amazed at some of the talent that we have here. And maybe put a prize on it of like $500 that will pay for the materials. Give them a theme like the spirit of Ogemaw. And have them, you know, send in their submissions, you know, pick an artist and, you know, let them put their imprint on the county building. It would be a lot nicer to look at, you know, someone's, you know, creativity in their work as opposed to a blank wall.
Definitely an
What
idea.
you're walking down.
Go ahead.
A few years ago, the prosecutor in the county came and asked us to open up a part of our wall, and we painted it all white for her.
Well,
I was just
And
gonna,
it's been a number of years since we've gotten more on there, and so
since COVID,
instead of murals, can you maybe start put another few up there?
okay.
You started this thing.
that's just thinking, like literally.
Said I was in charge. I'm the ideal
Yeah.
woman.
Yes, you're in
I'm the
charge.
ideal woman.
There, Brenda's voting to put you in charge.
Definitely, previous
To get on that wall, you have to be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. that's right.
Commissioner Reeds definitely, previous Commissioner Reeds definitely needs to be on that wall.
Yeah.
That
So,
would be my nomination.
so what I would suggest, because before we actually ran an ad in the paper, saying if anybody had someone that they wanted to submit for nomination, you know, contact the prosecutor's office and we would email them the form. Now that we have a pretty good website, maybe we can ask IT to put a posting on there saying if that anybody has anyone that they would like and give them the criteria.
We
for
could
being on the wall.
put a nomination form on there, people could fill out and it would go where it needs to go and.
Yeah, well, it goes directly to you guys, because you guys decide who.
It can go directly to you, that it can be told to do that.
Wait, time out.
Yeah, I think, I'm just saying, idea person.
Wait, were they just talking about raises a couple minutes ago?
They were.
Okay, well, I've got some added duties here. Never mind.
Go ahead.
I actually talked to Tim when you brought that up and we knew we were gonna be here tonight, so we thought you'd bring it up. But Tim, I believe you said somebody just talked to you about that. Couldn't we reach out to like Ogemaw Heights and Woodmere Prescott and their art departments and see if they'd be interested?
Like a student?
Having maybe like both art departments quarterback something and we can do, you know, I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Mhm. I think it would be such an honor if I was a student.
Oh,
even
absolutely.
To, you know, and then I'd have an imprint, you know, on my county building. And it's something that the kids could put on like their college application.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a great idea.
Okay, moving forward with some things. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for that.
Next, Commissioners.
One more comment.
Oh my
This is
gosh.
bothering me.
Yes.
Of course,
Can we please get that moved down so it's level? I've been asking for 2 years.
What's level?
Look at,
Like, oh, I see that.
Yeah.
That
Harold's-
fourth one. Fourth
The
one.
last three are higher than the one.
Yeah, that's true.
it looks terrible.
Tim, can you have Chris get on that?
Yes.
Thank you.
But I will take charge, and then do you want me to get in contact with Tom and see if we could put something on the thing?
Well, that answer is yes, we can do that.
Do you want me to have it send it to me? or do you want it
If you'd like, and if you have forms already that you've used in the
You do.
past, I can put that into the format so that it can be done and come right to you in a
I'm gonna
PDF.
go back to the office right now and email it to you.
Okay.
Thanks, Ladonna.
Thanks.
Thank you guys for your
Have a
time.
good night.
Commissioner comments, Commissioner Serbrook.
If somebody would like to take me over to the old jail, let me in the building,
Can I-
I will check.
Answer this
Yes.
Yeah.
now,
I would like
because
to
I'm
go.
not refusing to take you. I just do
You
not.
don't want to go in.
I do
Hold
not.
her
wanna go
hand.
in.
I don't.
Hold her hand.
I will get you in there
Okay.
during the daylight.
Because it's fun.
That's what I.
Well, I could tell you stories about haunting.
Saw enough to make me want to know more.
Nothing full under the jail.
Commissioner Wiltz,
Want to know more.
Commissioner Wiltz, any comments?
Oh,
No, good meeting tonight. Appreciate all this. I will be in Utah next Thursday.
Commissioner Scott?
I got word from Ben out to the airport. The Dr. Short is coming up Saturday with not only his jet, but 8 or 9 other jets.
Oh,
They got permission from FAA to practice or whatever
In
around.
the acrobatic box.
Yeah,
Is above the airport.
Saturday.
this Saturday. Yeah,
My house.
or probably right around noon, probably give or take noon.
Oh my gosh.
Craig?
For my house.
So,
I know at the airport meeting, it was somewhere between 10 and 2. Did he?
yeah, well, yeah.
He didn't know if they were gonna
Get up here.
Or after lunch when
He
he.
thinks he'll probably get up here around 11 o'clock and then it'll be noon or give or take, yeah. And they're just gonna do all kinds of stuff, I guess, so.
Thanks for the.
So free show,
I just wanna, just in case, cause last time there was an issue at Hill Township, I know some of the residents got some of the other commissioners involved, and you probably will hear about this as well, probably at your township meeting this week. I hit Hill Township Tuesday night. Meeting started at 6 o'clock. At 7:45, I got up and walked out. I had not given my report. It was a room full of individuals. The meeting was very, very, very poorly ran. Residents were speaking their minds. Board members are arguing. It all has to do with the fire department that they purchased, that they are co-owners with Rose. It was Lupton Fire Department. They've taken over ownership and it's utter chaos. So if any of you other commissioners hear about it, which I'm sure some of you will, I'll give more report next week, but just so you are aware, I was there. Staying out of this one, it got pretty aggressive. It got pretty abrasive. Unfortunately, the supervisor is on the fire board. And he definitely had no control over that meeting. So there'll be more to come on that. I'm not sure that's the second meeting I've attended there where things have gotten very out of hand. I don't know if I will return. So, yes, so they're volunteer firefighters. They went through a couple fire chiefs. It's gonna be interesting where it heads. So some decisions were made in that meeting to remove people from the fire board without a public hearing. It just a lot of things occurred, like the head was spinning and everybody was screaming. It was talking very abrasively. So anyways, that's it on mine. I'll give a little, maybe more report next week, but I just wanted to touch base that I'm sure you might hear a little conversation out there. So I wanted to be the first to share that information with you.
Thanks.
So public comment. Any public comment in the room? Any public comment on the phone?
Come on, somebody.
What, Gary?
Yeah,
Dan, you could say, great job.
we are adjourned.